Our last question is from a listener named Andrea, and she asks, I've been wanting to do a juice cleanse to help rid myself of
Oh, no
toxins.
way.
do, do you know which one is the best to go with?
Oh,
We laugh because of the previous
that's
question that we said.
Andrew, thank you for sending that
Yes, thank
in.
you, Andrea.
Wow, I'm trying to think of where I want to start with this one. Our pressed juice is good.
We had a great pressed orange juice
Right.
in the train station in Italy, and I think it saved us.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was very tasty. It just had this like citrusy taste to it that we needed to get on like the train and get to the next stop because
Yes.
we're both for our immune systems were a little bit down
Yeah,
from travel and stress and all of those things.
it was a great
So
orange juice.
that orange juice was phenomenal. So our pressed juice is good. Are they good to drink? Yeah. For a lot of people, they can get a high level of fruits or vegetables into the serving that they normally wouldn't be eating. It's a way to kind of sneak those things in.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, these things are great. But when we get to the idea of a detox, this is where it gets muddy, right?
Mhm.
So if you're having these pressed juices because you enjoy the taste and it's helping you get some more fruits and veggies in, awesome.
Mhm.
Don't change that. Like keep doing that.
Mhm.
But if you're doing it with a detox, and what do these detox typically look like? Well, you're not eating anything.
Mm.
You're having this juice for sometimes 5, 7, 14 days. It's juice and water, and the juice is giving you the calories to detox your system. Oh, it's terrible
Yeah.
because one, like some people will feel a little bit better when doing it, but it's just because they're not eating the foods that they were typically eating before that have all these preservatives and additives in them, right? So if you're eating a clean diet, you don't need to do these detoxes. I'll even add into this to kind of stretch it a little bit further that even after you are eating those things, your body is naturally detoxing every single day.
Mm.
If you have a liver and you have one kidney, your body is detoxing over and over and over again. If you have two kidneys, it's detoxing even further to get these things that are out of there. What we forget is that, and we're seeing this toxin craze right now of
Yeah.
toxins in the clothes, toxins in our food. And yes, our foods here are very processed and they're
Mhm.
not as healthy as they could be. But what we forget is that our body adapts to the toxins that are put into it if it's given in the right dosage and actually becomes stronger in the long run. So there's one research study I like to share that happened with this community that lived near a nuclear power plant. And the researchers were studying, they have all this stuff coming out of the factory. These people are not going to live as long as a community that doesn't live near this nuclear power plant. So they followed them for years. I don't know the exact amount of years off the top of my head right now, but they followed them for years and they just marked what was the average lifespan in this community versus the lifespan of the community not near this power plant. Well, the people near the power plant actually lived longer than the people that weren't near the power plant. The researchers were stunned. How do we try to explain this? And the reason that they came up with was because they were exposed to low level toxins over and over again,
Mm.
that their body actually became more resilient and more adaptable to things happening in their environment, that they didn't have as much illness. They didn't have as much cold and flus and these things because their body actually was built up more.
Mhm.
Another part I'll digress to is that before we go to a juice cleanse or a juice detox, and you can notice that I'm not going to offer a juice detox to do because I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Like, again,
Sorry, Andrea.
add them to part of your diet to supplement it, but you do
Yeah.
not need to go on a juice cleanse. This industry is making millions of dollars, and there's absolutely no science on it whatsoever.
Mhm.
Science doesn't have all the answers. Like, I will admit that, like, very honestly, at any point in my life, science does not have all of the answers, but it does have a lot of the answers of what we don't need to be doing. And right now, there's more science that needs to come out on this, but the science that we have right now is saying, no, what you need is calories that are coming from good sources of food and not having additives and preservatives. Now, that being said, before we ever even think of a juice detox or juice cleanse, or to that matter, an ionic foot bath and all these other things that are out there
Mhm.
in wellness, and I'm not saying wellness is a terrible thing to achieve. No, it's a great thing. Our goal is to help you achieve wellness. There's just better scientific ways and strategies that will get you there more than these things that are out there. So get calories, get them from good sources of food. Also, if you have a lot of toxins in your body, right, you have a lot of free radicals, antioxidants are what comes in and sweeps up those free radicals and cleanses you of those things. If you have too many toxins in your body, we can't just be looking at diet.
Mhm.
What's your sleep like? And most of these people that are going on these juice detoxes, they're sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night. Get 7, 8 hours. Your body will detoxify itself
Mhm.
faster than this 2 week cleanse. Sleep is huge. We talked on nutrition, relationships, fulfillment, spirituality, like this whole thing of pursuing health. If you're doing these things, that's going to lead you to having a detoxed system.
Mhm.
But again, I don't want people to believe that they need to be like toxin free to achieve health.
Yeah.
If you are toxin free in this day and age that we live in, you're actually probably going to become more sick than the people that are adapting to the toxins that are out there,
Mhm.
because you could do all these juice cleanses, do all these ionic foot baths, do all these things, and guess what? Canada has a wildfire and it's coming through, and you better be ready to adapt to that. Where the people that have been out in the environment and have been exposed to some smoke at lower levels, they're not smoking every single day, but they've
Mhm.
been exposed to it walking around, they're going to be ready and more adaptable to wildfire smoke that's coming by them. So
Mhm.
just a quick example that popped up in my head for some reason, but that's my take on
Yeah.
that. Get calories, take care of your sleep, understand that all toxins, like we don't need to completely detoxify everything that we do. Old school, kids eating dirt. I mean,
Mhm.
one of our nieces literally eats grass,
Yeah.
like puts all these different things in her mouth, and she hasn't gotten sick.
Yeah.
Like she's had some physical injuries because she's wild and jumps on everything that she can and just like has this awesome energy and just like always wants to play and is, decent risk taker, but she doesn't get sick.
Yeah.
And it's because she's out and she's exposing herself. Another point that I'll quickly make is that the reason that vegetables are healthy for us is because they release a specific chemical in us that the plant releases when it's getting attacked. So when
Mm.
you're eating broccoli, the plant's going, "Oh, I'm getting attacked," and it releases a toxin in our body, and then we adapt to that toxin. It actually makes our immune system become healthier. So the reason that veggies are healthier for us is because it's actually a low-level toxin that we're then adapting to become healthier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Toxic broccoli.
toxic broccoli.
Yeah, I also want to comment into is like, what is your mindset, right? Like that was a lot of information, and maybe Andrea's very confused now because she just wanted a juice cleanse to do, but instead we provided her with greater truth and greater perspective. So if you're kind of in the same boat, like what is your mindset going forward? Well, number one, I think openness, right, is huge. Like I have a friend who's really big into essential oils and like wants to sell them and like all these different things. I love what she's doing. And I was so impressed the other day because in my head, I there's all these accounts on social media that are like, do this juice cleanse, make sure that you have no chemicals in your cleaning supplies, make sure your makeup's clean, like all these things, right? Which I'm not saying is bad by any means, but I was so impressed with my friend because her caption said like, yet like before anything else, it's more toxic if you start stressing out about all of these things rather than like just taking it one day at a time. Like if you look at this like toxic world or whatever and you're like, "Oh, I need to change this, you obsessing over it, like that's more toxic for you than anything else." And
Yeah,
so like what is your mindset?
I feel like you wrapped up everything I was trying to say
Yeah.
in that statement, but I just got too fired up because it's something I'm really passionate
Yeah.
about. And the reason is what we mentioned is that people are spending thousands and thousands of dollars and valuable time and
Mhm.
resources because this thing is saying that it's going to get you there. And they use all these natural fallacies that, well, this was made from this, so this is why it's going to create this to happen, and it's going to enhance mitochondrial activity and do this and improve ATP. And you go, oh yeah, there's some science there, that makes sense. And I'm going to say this because people will go, no, there's research on this, and they'll send us these articles. And to save ourselves some emails, what I'll say is, please, 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 please check who the authors are of this research article. Because what happens is that most of these companies will hire researchers, to make something non-significant seem significant, to make a significant product, to try to make that thing that they found to be non-significant that they made significant, to use this product to now make it non-significant. And you follow that trail of research, and it's junk science, it's terrible research,
Yeah.
it's not put up against a control group. They will say that it is on their website, but we've been through a lot of research articles that people have sent to us. I won't mention the exact products and names of stuff now, but a lot of them, and you follow, and they're like, oh yeah, we did our research in-house, and this is what we found. It's terrible research. It's not actually research. It's biased because you're trying to make a case for your product.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Everyone is trying to do that. People could make the case that we're trying to do that.
Right.
But the difference is that we're doing it based off of the actual science
Yeah.
and like these science fundamentals and faith fundamentals that are actually going to get you there. And we're not going to fluff you up for this $200 juice cleanse when we know that that's not the truth and that's not what's going to get you to where you want to be.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. So Andrea, I hope that was helpful. And our other listeners, I think a lot of people might, I don't want to say struggle with the answer, but I'm mind blown. Like I already know this stuff because we talk about it, but it still like blows my mind on a regular basis. The like this toxic cleanse, natural, like all these different things, right? But I think to go back to Lila's question, all of this is just pursuit of a better health journey and wholeness.
Yeah.
It's all just in pursuit of a better health journey and wholeness. We want people to be the best versions of themselves and truly become who they're meant to be. And the world is going to be a better place when every person is pursuing wholeness and every person is pursuing the person that they're meant to be.